Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I am bringing you the second video in a new series I'm dedicating to learning the absolute basics of calligraphy and hand lettering. If calligraphy is something new to you, you are absolutely in the right place because today I'm going to be talking all about brush pens, everything you need to know, the good, the bad, and what you should be using if you are an absolute beginner with calligraphy. So starting out, I want to talk about the most popular option, which is the Tomoe Silka pen. I mentioned this in my last video, of course, but we have two options, the hard and the soft tip, and this pen is really great for beginners because it's super forgiving. It lasts a super long time and it's not super expensive either, so I'm just doing a quick demo so you can see the difference between the hard and the soft tip. With the hard tip, you get a little bit more precision and control, and the soft tip really allows you to create nice thick downstrokes and really thin upstrokes. As you can see, I'm just doing a quick demo here showing a calligraphy piece I did that is a combination of the two pens. Next up is the Pentel Fude Touch Pen. This is super similar to the Tomoe that I just showed you, but it's just a different brand. So you have slight different variations here. We have, again, two different options, a large and a small tip. They function very similarly to the Tomoe, but I actually prefer the Pentel just because I think it writes a little bit smoother and more consistently than the Tomoe pen. And having that smaller option also really allows you to get super precise with your lettering. Next up, we have the Tomoe Dual Brush Pen, which is another really popular option for beginners in the calligraphy community, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it if you're just starting out because the tip is much larger, so it can be a little bit harder to control your letters if you're not comfortable with the variance in pressure yet. But this pen does give a really beautiful look to the letters. It almost looks like paint on the paper. You get more of an opaque color when you press harder, and it starts to become more translucent as you lift up on the pen, and you also get that bonus bullet tip on the other end. These also come in a huge variety of colors, while the other two that I showed you earlier only come in black and gray. Next up, one of my personal favorites is the Faber-Castell Artist Pitt pen. I love this because of the awesome vibrant color payoff. These pens are absolutely beautiful, they're fun to write with, the bounce back is amazing. The only problem is if you're not using really smooth paper, you can notice some fraying with these. However, something that people don't generally know is that you can actually reverse the tip on these, so once you start to notice fraying, you just flip it around and you can start fresh. So it's almost like you're getting two pens in one. Next up, we have a Sharpie brand brush pen. These are really fun to write with again, but as you know, Sharpies tend to bleed a lot, and this is no exception with that. So if you're working on like a thick poster board or some really thick cardstock, this would be perfect, but just be aware that this is not going to be for like journaling or anything where you're using really thin paper. I wanted to talk a little bit about the water brushes in this video. Even though they're not generally used for calligraphy, you still can do some really cool lettering with them. So I picked these up on Amazon, and you can just get some cheap watercolors to work with them. The only problem is they're not as precise as the felt tip pens because you're working with actual brush bristles. So you're going to get more of that brushy, artistic look, but definitely something to consider if you've been working with brush pens for a while and you want to try something new. If you're looking for something that gives a similar look to the water brushes but doesn't need to continuously be reloaded with paint, you might consider something like these Mozart brush pens that I found, which are actual real brush tip pens, but they have the pigment already in the pen. Again, these come in a zillion colors, so you can really have fun with these. I've also found that the tip is super durable because, again, it's that real brush feel, so you're not going to have any fraying like you do with felt brushes. You can also layer up the color and get a really cool dimensional effect with your lettering too. The The last two pens I want to talk about are not even brush pens at all, actually. The Crayola Super Tip markers, you know, the ones you used to use in your coloring books. You can actually do calligraphy with those. To achieve the brush calligraphy look, all you have to do is apply a lot of pressure on the downstroke and then lift up on the upstroke, and these actually have pretty good bounce back. I haven't noticed any problem with fraying on these. The tips wear out really slowly, so you're going to get a lot of use out of them before you need to replace them, and they're also super duper inexpensive and come in a huge variety of colors. Crazy Art brand also makes a super similar version of this. I actually prefer them over the Crayola brand just because I think the tip is a little bit stiffer and easier to work with. And that is it for my comprehensive brush pen review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you didn't get a chance to see the first video I made in this series, I will have that linked down below. And also, if you have any additional questions about anything related to calligraphy or anything I talked about in this video, just please leave it in the comments down below and I will be sure to get back to you. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you guys again very soon in my next video. Bye!